Good morning, YouTube land. How y'all doing? It's Yamez in the morning with Impractical Blacksmiths. With me is Alexis and Adam. To the chat. Hey, what's up, Shane Lalone? Turtle Dust. I mean, Trail Duds. Trail Dust. Sorry, Trail Dust. I gotta get that straight. He threatened my life, and I can't do it again. I can't fight him again. He almost won. Ben Toombs, Jeff Killian, Rusty Hubcap Forge. What up, Hubs Caps? Looks like Paul Orchard's in the house. We've got Boar to Gob just rolling through the chat. Y'all are a chatty bunch of Robert Whitney. What's up? How y'all doing? Good morning. Good morning. Excuse me. I apologize in advance. My sinuses are just so and my sinus spray is still in the truck from the trip, so I'm gonna be all sorts of messed up this morning. Anyway, I know it is October 1st. That is the first day of spooky season. I love spooky season. Actually, come to think of it, every day for me is spooky season. I wake up, I look in the mirror, and I say, "Oh my goodness!" So yeah. With that, we will be setting up a fun month for our discussions. But today we really wanted to. I was hoping it was going to be like September 31st, which apparently they tell me doesn't exist, no matter how much I complain. But with that, we are going to kind of do a recap and wrap up of 2023 Quad State, because our final live stream of the month of September last week was well, it was short, it was sweet, it was bittersweet, and it was just us all saying goodbye and passing I say passing the camera around, but Mr. Goodamoot kept yanking it out of my hands and running around doing interviews and stuff, so that was a fun time. So we're just doing a Quad State wrap up, discussing our favorite, memories of Quad State this year and the things that kind of stuck out to us. So with that, I suppose we'll begin our show as per usual with the "How was your week?" I need an echo there. So how was your week, everybody?
Well, yeah, mine was pretty decent, and God, this is so weird not being able to hear myself right now.
We can hear you. Don't worry.
No, I know it's just like it gives me a I don't know. I'm so used to being able to hear myself to know my levels and whatnot. I'm out of I'm off my rocker. um, yeah, my week was pretty darn good, I guess. Including, I guess, my week starts with the drive back from Quad State. We left the fairgrounds Sunday afternoon, right maybe 15 minutes after we ended the live stream last Sunday, and we drove all the way back to Yamez's house. And we made pretty decent time. I got to say, we only had one instance of derate, and and then it was fine. At the pickup was fine after that. So we got a pretty good idea of what the issue was, and I'm sure nobody can guess
Nope.
what we think it might be.
Nope.
But regardless, uh,
Down
um,
Banana Road.
you know, yeah, right. Um, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just too funny. Anyways, we got there, we got everything unloaded. I got my bags packed up with my heavy hammer kit and air assist kit, all in on the suitcases. I wound up having to cut 2 inches off of the handle on my heavy hammer upgrade to get it to fit. And I used a bathroom scale that Yamez had available, so I could kind of like stand on the scale, get my weight, pick up the suitcase, and check the weight. And my weight limit was 70 pounds, like the hard limit, right? And so I get to the airport. Yamez drops me off, and I tell him, "Hey, go do circles. And don't make weight. You can come and stop, and I can drop some stuff off to you, and then you can mail it or whatever." And I thought I had both of my suitcases right at 60 pounds. And yeah, no, I was off just a little bit. And I had one of them at 65 pounds and the other at 69.5. I set the 69.5 one on there because the first one was 65, and I was like, all right, the other one ought to be about the same. And it came in at 69 and a half, and I was like, right under the limit. So that was pretty awesome. Called Yamez, let him bounce, and then commenced my flight back. Was fairly uneventful, I guess. Got back here, went to work the next day. Wound up being a slow week at work. Only worked 3 shifts for 69 hours. So that was fun. The last one was arguably the most interesting. As if you're on my Instagram or Facebook, you would have seen my post, the picture that I put up, and I was gonna throw it up here for Yamez to reference, but I forgot. I didn't have time this morning. But I was picking up a piece. One of the last pieces I had to do. I was down to like the last 5 or 6 pieces, and I was picking a piece up, and I was gonna pick it up about halfway and then drag it out so they could help me up with the pole truck or crane. And no, I didn't get that far. About a second before I was going to stop winching, the button pulled through the winch line, and like a gunshot, the winch line came through the back window. It clipped my shoulder and my forearm because I'm leaned over in the corner of the truck like this is the passenger side glass. I'm looking out my passenger or my driver's side window at the mirror, and I'm reached over here running the winch. And when it came through, it hit my shoulder and my forearm, and glass went everywhere. 8 hours later, I scratched my eyebrow and pulled a piece of glass out of my eyebrow. So it got everywhere. I had to literally go back behind the frac tanks and take all of my clothes off and shake the glass out. And that was fun. I'm okay. No, it wasn't. That was not fun. I would not recommend, because if I had been looking out the back glass, we wouldn't be talking right now. I wouldn't necessarily be dead, but I definitely would not be sitting here talking. So, yeah, that was a.
I'm uploading that image now.
Yeah, it was a scary deal. And after 23 years, or in 22 years, I've never had the line inside the cab with me. I've heard of it happening to people. I've seen it happen to people, but it's never happened to me. Well, now it has happened to me. And to think this whole time, I've got a winch guard that like slides up. It's on air cylinders, and it slides up in front of the back window. I never use it because, I mean, it's the bars on it are like half-inch thick, and it's like, it kind of it obstructs your view and kind of a pain in the butt. And it tells everybody, that guy's a puss, or girl, or whatever, however you want to look at it. But yeah, no, I think I'll probably be using that a little bit more often now that I've actually experienced
Right.
what would you call.
I had to change the scene around so I could show that picture, but yeah, there's the picture.
Well, it's I'm looking at it on the oh, there it is. Okay, you got it. Yeah, that's where the winch line is coming right across the top of my seat right there, and it's hooked around the bracket for my backup camera. And of course, you can see all the glass in the driver's side seat, and that other thing sitting in the seat was the center divider of the sliding glass. That's where the handle is to slide the back glass open. And I don't have any idea why that's sitting in the seat, but it came through with the glass, and good times. And I'm good now. I mean, my shoulder's not really all that sore. I'm just a little bit sore in the forearm right here, but other than that, I'm golden. So that was my week. That was my exciting accident, and we'll see how that plays out over this week and what comes of it. But I did do some damage to the doghouse that I was picking up. I killed their microwave, and I killed their refrigerator. We know so far, and fingers crossed we didn't mess up the computers, but we don't know. All right. We'll see. So, how was your week there, Adam?
My week was actually really good. Just a moment. So, those of you that follow me on Speedgrowth Forge on YouTube would have seen that I went live in my workshop from mobile for the first time ever this week. I used an app called Prism, which allowed me to go live. It was a little bit of a mess around to get it set up, but excuse me. But a couple of exciting things happened this week. So first of all, on that live stream, which was Tuesday morning my time, which would be Monday evening, I think it was. It was Wednesday, because on Tuesday I actually had a student come out. So a guy I work with, a Kenyan guy by the name of Wilson. He was really, really excited to try blacksmithing. He's apparently he's always dreamt about it. It's been a lifelong dream for him to get out and do something. He's a very, physically active person and wanted to get out and try it. So he came around on Tuesday and had a bit of a lesson with me. And we made a couple of course, in true learning blacksmithing fashion, we made a couple of leaves. Those of you follow along on my Instagram would have seen me post a couple of photos of it. Him in the forge, and
he looked like he had a lot of fun.
He did. He had an absolute ball, apparently. So we made 2 leaves. The first one was we did side by side. So I went through with him. It was also a kind of a test for my book, with the book I'm writing with how, teaching and stuff like that. So went through some of the basics of, drawing out and scrolling, and then, upsetting and shouldering, and then spreading out for the actual leaf portion, and then bending the stem back round and doing a little bit of veining and stuff like that. So went step by step with him on those things, and also explained the why of why we do things a certain way. Of course, I spent most of the day getting on him about having his thumb on the back of the hammer handle, because apparently he had a little bit of carpentry experience. He'd never swung a hammer on hot steel before. So yeah. So I actually, at one stage, I actually took him out because I've got a couple of stumps just outside of my forge. And so I had him swing the hammer full, one of the forging hammers full swing with his thumb on the back of the hammer. And he went, oh. And I went, you feel the vibration in that? I went, yep. I said, now hold it in a proper hammer grip. And I taught him either the forefinger pinch grip or the rear finger, glass. Crafts.
If I may interrupt for a second.
Yep.
What you just did and said you did and whatnot, I'd never even thought of that. That is such a brilliant, sorry about the traffic noise. That is such a brilliant thing. If you can cut yourself a log that is the height of the anvil as a as a strike trainer for your students, so you're not standing there at an anvil holding a 2x4, to at least practice form. Hey, I want you to go practice form for 10 minutes and then come over here to the anvil. Yep. That is brilliant.
Thank you. Didn't even think of it. It was just a couple of scrap logs I had out.
Set it up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they are roughly about anvil height. I've got my anvil set up just fortuitous it was that way. But yeah, no. So I had him, full swing with the thumb on the back of the hammer, and then I showed him either the pinch grip or the pinky clasp grip, and said, now, throw the hammer up and swing down full. And he did that, and he went, I didn't feel the vibration that time. I said, that's exactly why we don't have our thumb on the back of the hammer. I said, it's different. When you do a pinch grip, you kind of have your thumb to the side of the hammer handle, but it's never on the back. And I went to explain to him, why, because it can cause blacksmith's elbow and all that type of injury. And also went on to explain, the size of hammer handles and how some people like them thick, and me personally, most of my handles are relatively thin. And, went on to explain, I know about blacksmithing elbow because I've had it. I went to explain how I got it, and too heavy. And I said, look, there's a lot of reasons why it can end up. For me, it was improper technique, but mainly I got the technique down really quickly. For me, it was my handle hammers were too thick, so I spent a lot of time grinding them down, and I was also, I was also using at the time too heavy a hammer, because my old, and I've still got it, I still use it from steel, when I'm forging thick, but it's a temporary hammer as opposed to an everyday use. It's about 3 pounds. So, yeah, so went through and explained all that to him. And for those of you that have seen the pictures, you know what it looks like. But so we did a brassed one and a blackened one, and they both turned out, for a first time forging, they both turned out absolutely spectacular. I mean, these were really clean forgings. So it was impressive. And yeah, he had an absolute ball. He wants to come back on my next week off and do some more forging. He works slightly different shifts to me. He's a day shifter as opposed to me being permanently night. So our days don't, he gets 2 days off on the week that I'm off. So we should be able to work something out, but he's really looking forward to coming back. And we kind of maybe possibly discuss him apprenticing under me. Not that I deserve to have an apprentice. I reckon I'm far too green. But anyway, so that was Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I did my live stream where I was forging. I'll bring it up to the screen where I was forging these knives. Let's see if that will actually come through a bit clear. I've just got to move.
Those are pieces of paper. Those are pieces of paper. This is.
Oh, yeah, I'll get to that. So these two knife designs is what I was forging, or continuing to forge on Wednesday, where I went live on the Prism app, which allowed me to go live on YouTube for the first time in a couple of years. Now, I went live the other week on Instagram, but this actually allowed me to go live on YouTube, which was really good. And as a result, I have officially passed 1,000 subscribers. Yay! Cue the fireworks and all that type of stuff.
Hold on. We got something for that.
Yeah, we do.
Yay! What was with the ooh? What the heck?
I didn't know that was in there.
No, my little brother put a whole bunch of them. My little brother put a whole bunch of them in there. This one's good too.
I like that one. I'm quite happy with the Mario theme. So yeah, so as of right this second, I'm checking up. I currently subscribe, which is really good. But on the Wednesday live stream, I didn't actually show it. But okay, so this knife here is actually forged out of a farrier's paper. Now, I'm getting to it, Yamas. Hold your horses. Be stable. Okay, so bringing up, I made a major. I wouldn't say a major mistake, but I messed it up. So in the forging of the choil, I actually ended up forging it too thin, so it wasn't going to have the beefiness to allow decent use as a knife. I didn't feel comfortable using it. So after stream, I finished up the stream. I did because it just got to the point where I was getting frustrated with it and I was about to throw it. You wouldn't see that in the live stream because I'm generally a pretty chilled out person, but I was getting frustrated with it. So on Friday, just in my personal forging time, I went back and reforged another one and made it a little bit more chunky. It's pretty much the same dimensions. I got to do a little bit grinding and shaping on it, but pretty much the same dimensions. And but as you can see, it's thicker in the choil, thicker in the tang. So that's going to be a lot safer when I get that finished. So yeah, and then so mainly it was excited about hitting 1,000 subscribers and having that student out. I've got a Roy from our good old friend and one of the biggest YouTubers in the world, Roy, and him and his lovely wife received a book that I sent to them, which is really, really cool. Now, we'll get to that in a minute because I hope that a couple of people that went to QuadState actually saw said book. I'm really hoping the owner of that, the first owner of that book, got really excited and showed it around to everyone because he should be, considering he provided the art for it. And yeah, so I've had a really, really good, positive week. overall, and compared to Alexis's trying to catch a steel cable with their the back of their head, I didn't have anything quite like that happen. I did burn myself though. I was forging some brass, trying to make. That's another thing I did. On the Wednesday live stream, I attempted to forge some brass for the first time ever, and I think, because I do know that there's several different types of brass. I think I got because I got given about I think it's a 3/4 to an inch round bar of brass, and I think it's turning brass. Now, turning brass is slightly different to other forms of brass in the sense of it's supposed to be put into a lathe. And it's I think it's high silicon content, so it crumbles really, really easy, and it's got a very, very narrow window of forging. It is an absolute pain in the rear. I think I cracked it and crumpled it about 8 times, and it was about anyway. I got sick and tired of putting it up against the stump that's got my leg vise attached to it, and anyway, I went to reach past it, and I ended up burning myself down the side of my arm. So luckily, it's only a light burn. It wasn't. It was, it was with one of them quick. Oh, that's a bit hot, and stuck it in the quench tank for a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I had a fantastic week. So get back to the main person here. How about you, Yames? How was your week?
Well, it looks like Alexis has something to say.
Oh, I was just gonna mention. I don't know.
Exactly.
It's too late.
Keep that in mind.
I will send you to Jesus.
was it? I was gonna say, was it about forging brass or different types of brass or?
No, it has not. It was. Coffee said he's not going next year. The drive is just too far, and Ben's like, fly like I do. So I could just see John like driving to date and get on a plane, fly to O'Hare, have a 2-hour layover, fly back, and then drive back to the house. Yep,
Yeah.
just flew in.
We could hire a helicopter and just come in via chopper.
Right.
Maybe next year. Bull run. Anyway. All right, was that a soundboard or did it something going off on my computer?
No, that's me. I've got so many soundboards because I'm in so many Discord servers, and like there's all these sounds. I'm like, oh, what are they?
I will send you to Jesus.
I love that one.
Hey, funny thing about that guy before just that I will send you to Jesus. The
emotional damage.
He's Irish.
Oh my God. Little Zach just put some weird ones in there. Okay, so enough of that. Enough of that. All right. I'm gonna mute sound.
We're going too far with the sound effect.
I didn't do it. It's not
That's me. That was me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that one was really long, and I'm like, I can't stop it.
Yeah,
all right.
Apart from you two playing with sound bites, how was your week?
Well, okay. Got back from QuadState. Chilled here at the house. We watched. Me and Alexis watched The Machine. Holy cow! What a great movie! If any of you don't know, Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer is a comedian. He's got a stand-up bit about going to Russia as a kid and joining the Russian mafia, blah, 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 blah. Freaking hilarious. They made a movie based on all of that story, and it is surprisingly a fantastic watch. I recommend it. Anyway, that's movie recommendations with Yames. That's all what this show is all about. Anyway, hello to the new people in the chat, Mr. Bill Corey, typo or 00 negative. And
I am the machine.
I am the machine. We need that as a soundbite. Don't do it.
I know,
Mr.
right?
Coffee, how you doing? So then jumped right into work. My first job back, I gotta tell you, this was freaking hilarious because, this is one of those points. So many people go through life and they doubt me. And it's like, I act like an idiot a lot. And then people seem to be surprised when they realize that I'm not an idiot. And
Well, that's debatable.
yeah. But like, so before QuadState, I had to rush to get this one job ready for what's called pre-final so that they could turn on power and the crews that are working in there while I'm gone have, some power to work with. And I mean, I rushed. It was a nightmare rush trying to get that stuff done. And I got it. And apparently while I was gone during the inspection, we failed. And one of, the big hit on why they couldn't turn on power was because the sub panel had, I bonded the grounding system, blah, 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 electrical jargon. And it's like, my boss didn't, exactly know what I did. And so he thought I screwed up. And it's like, oh, it's such a simple screw up. You don't bond the sub panel, blah, 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 blah. And so like my first one back was kind like on the list, it said fix stupid mistakes. And it, it was kind of like a nudge, like, hey, what the hell? And I'm like, that ground and neutral are separated and the ground needs to be bonded. That is a legit by code panel. And I took pictures and I showed him, and, oh, the inspector is wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, yeah, he could have hooked this up and they could have had power this whole time. Anyway, so, got that all straightened out, and it was like, and, yeah, there was that.
It's nice to be able to tell the inspector they're wrong, right?
Always nice. I freaking love it. Like I basically gathered evidence that every hit that he sent was like, yeah, you were wrong on this, Sean. I hope he doesn't watch this show. But yeah, so that was that. I started a new job, part-time job, and I don't know, like I'm supposed to be, what they hired me to do was to basically run community, be a community manager, and but they don't have the community built yet. So like in the meantime, I'm supposed to be helping gather beta testers for a product that's not even out yet, like basically get people to sign up. And it's like, that's not what I do. It's like, that's not at all what I'm good at, running communities and dealing with a community that's already existing. Teach me the program so that I can help people, on board. But like it's 4 months out before the program's even ready. It's like, so, an hour a day sitting there trying to convince people to, join a beta test for a product that I haven't even seen yet. And it's driving me nuts. But it's going to be, once I get into the swing of that, that's going to be some fun stuff. And that's pretty much been my week. Not super duper exciting. One thing I am excited for is this evening, I break my hiatus and I will be back to forging 6 p.m. Sunday evenings out there at the shop, because the temperature has finally dropped to a stable below 80, and I will be good to go. I just don't know what I'm going to forge tonight just yet. I might play with some of that steel that I have and try doing some like a window grate kind of thing, or I may do, like a cleaning stream where I sort through build a steel rack and start getting all my steel in order. So I might be doing some welding tonight. That's some necessary stuff, isn't it?
Hey, you know what? We talked about that while we were there, or while I was there, and yeah, I mean, that is literally the first step. You need a steel rack and move all that steel outside. I mean, it's not going to rust any more outside than it is inside. And Robert Lonis, it was great to see you again as well.
Yes.
And everybody else, Trail Duds, and of course, spending the week at John Coffee's, even though Yamez and I kind of were for the first like 2 days we were there. It's like all we wanted to do was sleep. I don't know. It's like having jet lag or something, but we didn't have jet lag. It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of moves from the how is your week into the how is QuadState. It's good. It's a weird separation because the week after QuadState is what we just talked about. Now we're going to talk about how was your 2 weeks ago.
Right,
So
right.
like how was your 2 weeks ago? you know, yeah. Our first few days there, for some reason, we were both just like, ugh. you know my entire body was sore. I couldn't stay warm. I had chills. I was just exhausted, lethargic. Just sit me there on a chair and let me just veg out. It was annoying. We went in with the best plans. We brought stuff to make hammers. We were gonna make a bunch of hammers. We were gonna make John a hammer and all this stuff. And
Yeah,
none of that
yeah,
happened.
that totally happened, right? That
Yeah, none of that happened.
John lives there, and he's the only one that fired up a forge the whole damn week, and it's like I just didn't have the energy. I mean, I
Yeah.
wanted to, but I mean, like I'm
Same
sitting
here.
in the chair, and I'm just going. I don't even want to stand up, and I just want to go to my tent and lay down and sleep for the rest of the day. And I mean, I can't do that.
I
had
actually did
those
take a
days.
nap.
I spent those days, those 2 days where I was just dead to the world, with no motivation, working on the project. Just trying to finish out that whole thing to get it ready for Thursday. Yeah.
Hi, Roy.
Morning, Roy.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was lovely to see you and hang out with you. This year, I will note something, and I think that me and Alexis and John can get away with it because we're so cool. But in past years, we only like kind of said hi to Roy, sat for like a few minutes, and then left him alone, left him and the family alone. And we found out this year that he thought it was because we hated him. So we pretty much spent the majority of QuadState, propped up and camped out over at the Adams family tents, and found out that they like us around. So that was always that was really nice. We're not a burden.
At least that's what they told us anyway. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Who's to say if they weren't really just over there by the pickup? Will people just not leave already?
Right. So
we got to meet Thomas. We got to meet Thomas for the first time, and he's an amazing individual. I love that guy.
He's a beautiful soul. I want to curl up in his beard and fall asleep. Thomas is great. Forged by myself that first night.
All by myself.
But yeah, a little bit of recap from my perspective of QuadState. So, once everything got into the swing of it, we kind of hung out. It was really interesting. It was really cool hanging out over at Roy's the whole weekend, and everybody thought that we were Roy's employees. What they, I kept correcting people and said, no, we're the owners of the channel and they're the employees. I told so many people, no. Roy's my employee. He was just the face of it. But it was it's hard to run away when you're tent camping. You remember that, Roy. So it was real. No, I jest. I mean, I didn't actually tell people that, but like it was, hanging out so much, and everybody that came up constantly saw us there. They thought we were employees. Like people kept handing me money, like when they're buying stuff, and it's like, nah, that's them.
Or they'd be talking about the heavy hammer display because they had that whole demo unit there, and they're like, "Man, you guys really did a really good job on that." And it's like, no, that's all that guy right there.
Yeah, don't blame me. But it was cool because they had Thomas's display, or Thomas built the display stand for his personal heavy hammer. And they had just added the tooling dies and everything, and it's like realized like halfway through using it that they needed to raise the the fulcrum, the pivot point for the or no, it was the what's it called? The springs, raised the point for the springs. So it was John Burnell, Thomas Goodemoot, and Alexis were forging the brackets to do it, and then it's like we needed a piece of wood, which I happen to have in the back of my truck because why not? And they forged drills because we didn't have a drill to drill holes for the bolts, so they each forged a drill, and then had a little mini competition of who could get through the wood the fastest. And John's looked the best, like it looked like an actual drill, but I think all it did was try to start a fire. Thomas did sort of a wine opener kind of drill, and it worked. An auger, yeah, it worked, and it was great. But the most effective one, Alexis did a chisel tip with, hit, spin, hit, spin, hit, spin, and it was probably like 60 seconds, and there was a hole there that looked like it was drilled with a mechanical drill, with a electric drill.
Yeah, just a nice round hole. And I was gonna say, and then if you weren't there to watch it or whatever, a good thing you got to remember is we're turning the drill bit with a wrench and using a hammer, except for John Burnell's. John made one of the twisty type, like that. But mine and Thomas's were turned with a twisting wrench while you're tapping with a hammer type thing. And I just took a piece of 3/8 square bar and did a chisel tip on the end, forged to finish, because we didn't have any grinders or power tools or anything like that. Forged to finish a chisel tip, and then just sat there and tap while you and just made a hole right through. So
and that,
it was fun. Right? It was really fun.
I suggested on a phone call with everyone that this next month, so on month of October, spooky season, it become this month's Blacksmiths challenge. Now, I actually saw that someone had heard that and taken that as gospel, and on Instagram, and I can't remember who it was, unfortunately, someone actually saw those videos as well and went and made a drill. Now, I'm going into the historical accurate, because you had the drill, what we now call the bit, and then they've got the cranking bit, which was the brace. So the drill was actually the bit. So they went and forged a drill or a drill bit that in the historical style by hand, and they finished only with files, which I think it was a 3/4 inch hole. So it's now, it was 1 inch. So you saw it as well.
Yeah, that's actually had out for a couple months, and I know the one that I saw on Instagram was Thomas Goodemoot's, and yeah, he did a 1 inch auger, with a wrapped eye that had to be forge welded and all that. It looked really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's I'm gonna do it my next off swing. So not next episode after. I'm gonna have a crack at doing a drill bit as well. So that's
what I'll do.
It's officially this month's challenge for all you blacksmiths out there that want something to do that aren't taking a part in the and I'm going to give Sam a plug here, the Samtown Bowie Build Off. Go ahead or even if you are, give it a go anyway. It shouldn't take you too long. But go and forge a drill bit, an actual drill bit. Doesn't have to, we'll say, nothing smaller than 1/2 inch, nothing bigger than 1 inch. So as long as it's within those parameters, and it can drill a hole through a piece of through a 2x4 or 4x4.
2x4.
2x4.
Yeah,
2x4.
2x4.
2x4. So so drill through a 2x4.
The hole can't be bigger than the inside of a bagel.
Yep.
Red Gum Ford says that's what you can make tonight. Yeah, miss.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Mm-hmm. And when you get them done, take a short video and send them to impracticalblacksmith@gmail.com. and so that can and that will next not next Sunday afterwards, or by the end of the month, right? There, our end of month live stream and podcast. We'll review, and there won't be any prizes because aren't that lucky. But we'll review and we'll come up with the one we think's the winner.
Yep.
Yeah, and Rob mentioned the oldest drills were spoon shaped, and that's actually the shape that I went for. It didn't have the curve like the spoon or the dish, but it was a curved end, so that once I established, as I was turning it, once I established a divot, it would stay in the divot and not wander. So that was my thinking, anyways, when I made that one, and I actually liked the way it drilled a hole. I was fairly impressed. I was like, I am that good.
Yep. Yeah, well, absolutely. And there's dozens of different types. I mean, you've got your spoon shaped one. You've got your spade tipped, which is what I kind of thought you were going for there, Sally, a more spade tip type one. Then of course you've got your twisted bits, and your auger bits and all that type of thing. So there's dozens of different types. Go through, find one, forge one, have a go.
Yep, I might try my first try tonight.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna
tune in tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna to watch me try to drill a hole.
I'm gonna try to do one where I don't have to hammer it. I can just know what I mean. I'm gonna try to make one I can just turn.
Yep. Now, and one more parameter. I'll put one more parameter in. No power tools, has to be done by hand. And if you want to put an edge on it, whatnot, use files.
Yeah,
or if you've got a pedal grinder, you can use that. But no electric power tools. All has to be on the hand tools. We'll go quote unquote traditional.
Yeah. No,
make it easy.
Pretend it's 200 years ago, and you get a quick whole piece of wood and you got nothing on you. So let's say.
Yeah. What time is that in Australia?
Traditional because 6 p.m. will be about 7:30 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time. So that is currently 8:30 a.m. Australian Central Daylight Savings Time, and it will be 8 o'clock a.m. Australian Eastern. I think Eastern's just kicked over the daylight savings as well. So double check your times, but it is definitely about 7:30 Australian Central Standard Time.
All right.
Because we don't get daylight savings here.
If I may, I will say I'm going to move quickly on to the winners of QuadState, at least in our bubble. And then you guys, and then Alexis, you can share your views and what you thought of QuadState, your perspective. So I won a raffle every single year for the Iron in the Hat raffle. I put a single ticket in the tong set. It's a 8-piece tong set, all of the bolt jaw tongs from Blacksmiths Supply, and I never win it. This year I won it. Woohoo! I had people trying to yank it out of my hands. That's the big winner, and nobody else won anything of any note. No, I'm just kidding. We actually have one of the winners here in the chat with us. I'll get to him in a second. But also during the forging competition, also a winner. Might as well unmute yourself, John Burnell. Because John Burnell and Thomas Goodemoot got second place in the fork and spoon forging competition, which, if any of you guys watched the shorts that I released, it was like 4 or 5 hours of competition.
And that short is in the Discord too, so
yes.
you can play it on the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I own it, so I own the rights to that. Dang it!
Well, it's also on my channel anyway.
I know that.
Shows the importance of correctly fitting tongs, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure. And PPE, even though I mean, in this particular case, PPE didn't save anything, but it was that close to being a good dang thing.
Yep. It was an interesting thing because I actually ended up showing that video to Wilson, who came around, because during our forging, I actually heated up a pair of tongs because when he was forging his second leaf, I did a little bit of work on one of the knives I've got, not the Bowie knives, something else I'm working on, and he asked me why are you changing the shape of your tongs. So I actually brought up that video and said, this is what happens when you don't use the correct tongs, when you don't have a good grip on your work. And he went, oh, did that knock his hat off? I went, yeah. Now imagine if it hit his face. That's a 1,000-degree piece of steel hitting him in the face. So yeah, it was a very important learning tool as well. I used it a couple of days later and as a learning tool. So thank you for that, Sully.
But yeah,
dude. I was sitting.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Yaman. Okay,
no,
I was just sitting right there in the front. And I was taking 10-second clips. You know what I mean? Just so I could put together some pits in a short. And I was just like, his hat flew up, and I was like, whoa. I looked over. I think Shane Malone was sitting next to me. I think it was, and I was like, I can't believe I just got that. And and then Shane mentioned in the chat he was the big loser, and well, I tell you what, it kind of scared me. He fell out trying to climb up on the bleachers, and he fell backwards, landed on his back, and oh, poor guy. I can't imagine.
Yeah. I hope you're all right there, Mr. Lalonde. I really do. Damn strong ass grip, ripping bleachers apart. Freaking Shane Lalone went all Hulk smash on the bleachers and fell down. Go boom.
Laying on the ground with a piece of the bleacher still in his hand.
But yes.
Smash.
Also, to kind of do a recap, and I guess I have to plug this because, I mean, what can I say? Our circle creates winners. Years ago it was Hans Groff with the Indian headdress with all the feathers, and then the year after that, the year after that or whatever, it was Christ-centered Ironworks with his chiseled hammer. And then this year it was Mr. John Brunell with a candlestick winning People's Choice. I mean, with just a candlestick, you say? Yes, it was just a candlestick. The thing had more scrolls on it than the Gate of Versailles. Versailles? Whatever. Whatever.
Cells. Get some culture, man.
Oh
no.
My gosh, I'm ashamed that you said that.
Yeah,
you're friends with us, Yummers. Come on, you have some of our culture have to at least rub off.
Shame.
Shame your face. But okay, I've got to throw some props over at the shop at Almost Perfect Forgeries. Mr. John Brunell, he did not think he would win. All week he was excited, but yes, also no, this is bullshit. It's a spot welded and painted, more fabrication than forging, blah 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 blah. Brass brush like a mofo to get that gold leaf on there, and took home the big prize. And then once he did, just you couldn't knock the smile off his face. So congratulations there, Mr. Mr. John Brunell. So big old clap there for you. I allow permission for the soundboard. Yeah, there you go. You get a clap and an ooh.
The ooh is gonna get me every time. We have to get rid of that ooh at the end.
No, that's gold.
Yeah, and so yeah, exactly, Mr. Roy. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut from time to time. And then yes, now actually the true winner in my book was Nightmare, the Hydra sculpture, which I actually have hidden in my shop to scare whoever goes in there. Because when you look up at it where it's at, it's like, what the heck is that? Because still, after being in the back of the truck with rain and people touching it, it's still like a shadow of a shadow, hiding in the penumbra. It's great. Why don't you tell us a bit about the Hydra there?
Yeah, go ahead and bring up the pictures on it. For those that haven't seen it, that was.
Give me a few minutes.
It wasn't okay. It wasn't really for me. It wasn't an exercise in this is how good my ironwork is, or anything like that. It was more of an exercise in getting people to think, like. About using different methods of finishing a product, different ways of presenting something, and that was the entire point. Because I've never seen anybody in person use Musso Black on anything, and so that's what I wanted to do, was to kind of use that a medium to present this finish to the world. And I did get some pretty decent, like when I was just walking through, people were taking pictures of it or trying to take pictures of it, because as you can see, when you take a picture, it looks like you're taking a picture of a shadow. And
Yeah.
On the few occasions when I heard somebody ask themselves or the person they're with, their partner or what have you, about it, I would just kind of interject and I would tell them about it. And that it's made from 5 Farrier's rafts and pieces from a lattice boom crane, and then a beautiful piece of walnut that was I borrowed from John Coffey, which he actually let me keep, so it's still mounted on it. And we electro etched it, and John did some magic with some waxy, shiny stuff, and it came out looking really good. I mean, when it come out of the barn, I'm like, yep, it's a piece of wood. And then after he worked on it a bit, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. I don't know a whole lot about wood, but that is a beautiful piece of woodwork. And anyways, at the end of the day, I didn't expect to win anything. That wasn't my intention. Especially already what John Delabra looked like. I was like, all this effort I'm going to put in, well, it's still worth it, because I still want to get the point across. And I think I did, because a lot of people, and it kind of made me think, I know I had a discussion with Roy about some things that he thought he might be able to use that finish for. And I agree. I mean, it even me using it in that method and then seeing the way it turned out, it made me think of several things down the line where I could incorporate that into a project as well, and not it just being the sole focus or the sole finish. You know what I mean? Like use the Musso Black to accent a piece in a certain way. So I feel like I accomplished my goal with that piece, just by making people kind of scratch their head and go, huh, how about that? And that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to make people think. Yep. And I hope all of you guys that were there and got to see it, I do hope you saw it and appreciated the texture of it, the purpose of it, and I do hope you all voted for John's candelabra, because I know I did, because I'm the kind of person that goes into the gallery, and I don't care if you're my friend or not, and I'm gonna vote for the people's choice. I'm gonna vote for the piece that I feel is the best piece, regardless if it's my piece or my friend's piece, or and I've had people be like, well, that's kind of being a shitty friend. And I'm like, no, I don't feel that's correct. I mean, I wouldn't vote for my own piece knowing that John's is so much better. I mean, I can't with a good conscience do that. So I was so happy that John won the People's Choice. I really was. I was just like, yes, he deserved it. He put a lot of work into it. And oh, John says he licked the Hydra. So how did it taste?
Yeah, how'd them carbon nanotubes taste?
I was say, looking at that Hydra, it looks like something I'd come across just walking through the bush here. So we haven't saying that's in his workshop. It's going to scare people. I go, a little bit at home.
That's just a normal thing in Australia.
Exactly.
Australians are fake. They don't exist. I'm
Yep,
convinced
I'm still waiting for my NASA payment.
Australia's a simulation. It's like hard mode for the game of life. Like you chose Australia as your starting area? Are you insane?
Hey, John threw some candlestick pics up in the Discord if you want to show the people the winning
I suppose
submission. And Shane
I'd
will.
like to. Yeah, I was gonna say I'd like to see it finished because I've only ever saw the progress pics before it was finished, nearly before it was finished, and also I saw it in the back of the picture for when you showed it, Alexis. But when you showed off, down the view, I didn't get to see.
Yeah, that Daniel Baca. No, it's not Vanta Black because you can't buy Vanta Black. There's one artist that owns the patent and the copyright to Vanta Black, and he's the only one that can get it and use it. So I used Muso Black. The difference being Vanta Black absorbs 99.9% of light, and Muso Black is 99.6% of light. The next one down is like Black 2.0 or Black 3.0, and that's like 99.4. So Muso Black is the second blackest black you can get, or that exists, but it's the blackest one you can buy on the market. It's like $25 for 100 milliliters on Amazon, and I bought 300 milliliters, not knowing how much it was going to take, and I used one whole bottle. So it took 100. It took 100 milliliters to do that whole thing in about 8 coats. So there's about 8 coats of Muso Black on it, and then my spare ones I gave one to Yamez and I gave one to John Coffey to play with because I really want to see him incorporate some of that Muso Black into some of his artwork. I think it would. I think it would make an amazing like backdrop to some like airbrushed space stuff.
Or even just like shadows in a cave or something like that. That would be absolutely amazing to see that in art. That and particularly like with how well it came through in even those photos. So even a photo of a painting would just if they're so deep in the blacks, that would be really cool. On the candelabra. John, you should probably expect some calls from churches and stuff like that, man. That looks like it belongs in a cathedral. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely that candelabra definitely deserved People's Choice, and I have no idea who even won the any of the other stuff because by the time I showed up to pick up, we showed up and the award ceremony was done because to be honest, we weren't even out of bed when that happened, and we got there and there were literally like 3 pieces left in the gallery when we showed up to pick our stuff up, and it was my piece, John's piece. And then there were a couple others, but I'm exaggerating. And then there was this other amazing like cube puzzle thing that was really mind bending as to how it was put together. And while we were trying to
Peter Brassfinix, that was a Peter Brassfinix piece, Fiery Forge.
Yeah, and while we were taking the candles out of John's candelabra to load it up,
John kicked it over.
All of the curtains and the rails fell down. Like the wind blew everything down, and it knocked that thing off the table, and it all came apart. And it's like we're all looking at it like, just put the pieces on the table. The guy that owns it knows how it goes together. So
yeah,
when he comes to get it, he can put it back together, or take it apart to ship it. Whatever.
Yeah, that's probably what he does.
So
it's always a joy seeing Peter Brassfinix and the pieces that he creates there at the show.
And so I've already, me personally, I've already started working on my plan for next year's submission. I'm still, hoping. Well, I'm going on the assumption that I am going to be able to go because next year, as it stands, like this year, me and Yamez were really the only ones at the coffee grounds. Daniel showed up on late Saturday, but as far as the week stay, it was just me and Yamzi. And next year, though, is shaping up to be a bit more huge. About just about everybody's planning on going next year, and so I am, fingers crossed. I got to figure something out because the closing date for my house is actually while I'm in Ohio, or will be in Ohio, because it's my closing date is the 24th of September next year, and so I'm just like, and of course I've known that since I bought the house 5 years ago, that it's like once I pay it off, which is, I don't know, that's my contract says I have to meet with the owner at the courthouse on the 24th of September 2024 for closing and title transfer and all that. Maybe I can do it early. I don't know. I don't know how that works with contracts and all that, but I'm going to figure it out because I really don't want to miss QuadState just to close on a house. I mean,
right.
Figure
out what's more important.
Is this the point? Yeah, I was gonna say, is this the point where we do a Kickstarter? Because if it's going to be an important date for Alexis, because she's going to be in the process of settling her house and stuff like that. Should we put a Kickstarter up to make sure that I'm definitely going to be in QuadState next year?
I've got to figure it out. I mean, like, I'm not saying, I'm not going to go because I'm closing on my house and I'm not selling it, I'm buying it, but I'm not going to miss it because of that. I've just got to figure out how to move that to one side or the other. You know what I mean? And I'm sure I'll figure that out when it gets closer. But everybody, like Ben's going to be there. I mean, like all the people that didn't go this year are trying to be there. Rob, Granddad's Forge, is probably going to puss out again because it is. I mean, that's what Rob does. He's just kind of like, I'm gonna go, and then the week before he's like, psych.
Yeah.
There's some 90s stuff for you, but yeah, no, we need to put together something to get you over here, and it's not gonna work like we did with Danley Moose, where we can just sell some slots for a hammer class and that buys a plane ticket, because this plane ticket is going to be 10 times what that one was. So yeah. So we definitely going to need to put together a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe or Patreon. I mean, like I mean, I'm of the opinion that our show funds can go into that, but I mean, let's be honest. Our show funds in a year is going to be like $200. So
yeah.
well,
yeah,
round trip Darwin to Dallas is at the moment, and if it is currently $3,500 Australian. So I don't know what that is.
That's about 2,500, 2,800 US. That's actually not bad.
It's not bad, and that's if I booked it for tomorrow. Let's
just
see
remember,
how far in the future
YouTube takes 30% of everything. So, if somebody sends a $10 super chat, that's only $7 or $7 to the fund.
Yeah, that's $7. And to be fair, I will point out, like, okay, over the next year, we are seriously going to try to fund or assist funding Adam to get over here for QuadState next year. We may not be able to swing the whole thing, but we might be able to put a dent in it to where he can afford it. And any super chats that come into this channel, my channel, or, well, I mean, I can't do super chats yet. Adam's channel, when he gets his monetization up, because I mean, like, that's what I would expect him to do with it as well. But in addition, PayPal payment. If you want to drop me, Adam, or Yamez a PayPal drop and say, for the fund, for, well, I don't care what it's for. If I get a PayPal, it's going to go into that, But so that's a better option, because we with PayPal I don't know if Yamez has a Patreon or not, but
I do, but
probably not.
I lost the login.
Okay. Well, so with PayPal, we will get the whole thing and be able to kick the whole thing into the fund for Adam. But if you're more comfortable with YouTube because it's easy and whatever, just realize they're taking 30% or 33%. So they get 1/3 of anything you donate through YouTube.
Super chats,
And
PayPal doesn't.
PayPal doesn't take anything.
Unless if you send it friends and family.
If you donate $10, if you send it friends and family, PayPal, you send $10, we get $10. So, and I know y'all are a bunch of broke fucks. No big deal. There's no requirement to donate.
Oh, hold on.
We got a year to get it done. So,
my bad.
Thanks to Daniel Baca for the $10 super chat for the fund, and
yay! Thanks, Daniel.
The only caveat I'm going to say that in this medium, in this medium, like this isn't a GoFundMe or in this situation, this isn't a GoFundMe or Kickstarter where, well, if Adam doesn't make it, we're going to give you your $10 super chat back.
These are donations that go towards the fund.
If we don't make it happen, it'll roll over. I mean, you know what I mean? So we're not going to just take the money that you guys send us, divide it 3 ways, and go to Walmart or I don't know what the Australian version of Walmart is. Or we're not going to divide it up and go. Yeah, we're not going to divide it up and go grocery shopping with it. The channel funds have a dedicated purpose right now, and whether we get that done in the next 12 months or the next 24 months, whatever it takes. So,
yep. Because I really want to be there for 2024. That'll be the 5-year anniversary of when I was first invited.
and honestly, and I'm not going to lie, if I get like 4 100-hour weeks in a row, I could damn near fund your whole trip myself. You know what I mean? Like that, because that's one of those months where I go, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm tired as all get out, but that paycheck comes in and goes,
If I may, Mr. Baca just brought up a good point. If you feel more comfortable, all right. So buying Adam's books helps because that would go to the fund. Buying something from us as blacksmiths, like if you want to buy something, anything that we make would probably be going to that fund. Most will be going to that fund. So it's like, if you want a Mawabo, if you want a hammer, from one of us, if you want, a jelly, the jellyfish that I make, or the CB radio brackets that Alexis makes, if you want to buy one of Adam's Bowies because he's making 2 of them, like there's multiple ways to support the channel, which anything that goes to the channel is going to that fund right now. So
all of our I'd hold off on the knife until you see it's finished.
Right.
Yeah.
Red Gum Forge. That's Australia. That's an Australian personage, correct?
Yep.
So Adam, tell him how he gets your books in Australia.
Okay, so even in Australia, worldwide, they're available on Amazon. Look up. I'll put it in the chat, but look up the complete Practical Blacksmithing annotated, and it will come up with my copy. It will have a very it's a historical painting that's actually on the cover of 4 Blacksmiths. So I'll put it in the chat as well. That's the complete Practical Blacksmithing annotated, and I can actually show you a copy because I now have a copy myself.
And so I just happen to have hold on, oh hell, what happened?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Well, I lost my thingy, but I happen to have volume 1 or
that's
volume 3, and then I've got volume 2, and then volume 1, and Volume 4. So I have the 4 individual hardcover books. I'm not going to. I mean, I don't believe that's insulting to say. I'm not going to order the complete set because I ordered the 4 individual ones. But you know,
that's it. No, well, yeah. And just to let you guys know, so it is available in on Kindle, on paperback, and on hardcover, but only hardcover in the US. So the rest of the world, except I think maybe the EU, it's only available in paperback for the complete. That's the reason why I don't push the hardcover, because it's not available everywhere, and also why I don't really mention the 4 individual volumes. Of course, they are an option; they're still available on Amazon, but unfortunately, some, like the original version, the original practical blacksmithing, which is, most people will know probably this version or the yellow version. This is basically those 4 volumes just bound together. So that's why I released it in the original way it was done, one volume after another. So if you want it more closely to the original volume, you can buy it that way. And then the new one is basically re-edited, re-annotated, mixed around, so it makes more practical usefulness than the original copy, the original version. Now, I did say someone's asked if they could get it directly from me. Look, I can do that, but simply with shipping, and with ordering it, like I'm going to get it from Amazon anyway, so they're going to get some money out of it either way. If you order it from me, it's going to cost you just as much. It's going to cost in printing just as much, but it's going to take about 4 or 5 times longer to get it, because it has to come to me first, and then I've got to post it on, and I'll be actually losing money out of that transaction from postage. So you're just better off going through Amazon, going through the Jungle Company. Sure, they take a bite, but it's, it's not really that bad. I know some people don't like, even it's a big companies, but at the end of the day, I am assigned to their affiliate scheme. So there's another, it's not just through Amazon, it's through other, you may be able to get it through other major booksellers. But yeah, at the moment, the only place I'm aware of that you can get it is Amazon. And yeah, if you order it direct through me, Amazon prints it anyway. So, because I am self-published, so at the end of the day, they're getting some money regardless. So it's just better for you if you buy it through them, and it generally gets to your door within 2 weeks. So yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, anyway, and so now, yeah, I can there, Red Gum. I'll put in an Australian link. It's pretty much, if you go on amazon.com.au and just look up Practical Blacksmithing Annotated, it'll come up. I'll see if I can grab a link for it and whack it in the chat. But yeah, just a second. Just have to close YouTube, my window on YouTube, so I can see what's going on.
Yeah, and
someone else talk. Yeah,
for all the support today and future support over the next year to the fund, we appreciate it. It's like, if I don't respond, like if somebody sends something throughout the year and it's like off the show, like not during the live, and I don't send an immediate message back, because I think PayPal allows you to send a message, know that it is 100% appreciated. And if you choose to do it anonymously, in the note thing, put anonymous, and as we get closer towards the end, we'll do something special for all the people who is donated to help. Be it a what is it? What is the word starts with a C? Commemorative video for you guys. I believe I can. I'm gonna look into it to see if I can. But anybody who's donated that is not a member, I believe I can gift memberships. So there's that too. If I can gift memberships where I don't get any money, but you get the perks, cool. I can do that as well if I can. I'm gonna look into that. I know you can for Twitch.
I know you can on Twitch. I'm not sure here, but
Yeah, I know that people can gift memberships, but like for example, Black Collar Ironworks, Black Collar Army gifted a whole bunch of memberships, but he paid for those for them. So if I can gift them for free as the channel owner, I would do that. But if it costs us money to gift memberships, that would be counterproductive.
Yeah.
So
I will like say, Eric. Yeah, Jurgen was in last week. So
Okay, so I just went on Google and had a quick look for the to see if there was a shorter URL, because the URL is like 488 letters long. And
if you send me the link for the Amazon link, what I can do is I can put it through my associates, and that gives a tiny URL.
Okay, just a second. But yeah, some lovely individual has already started hawking my copy of Practical Blacksmithing on eBay for like 4 times the price.
no kidding.
You've made it.
No kidding. So in Australian dollars, it's about $69 Australian for my copy. Sorry, it's double price. And on eBay, it's paperback edition on eBay, $123.67. So double the price.
Wow.
Wow.
So if y'all give me a minute,
it's kind of made me feel like I've made it,
Right?
If someone's hawking my book on eBay for twice the price. That's funny. But thank you for everyone that's made donations.
That person and say like, I don't know. Hey man,
that's my book, mofo. I want to look at the listing now.
That price, do you want me to sign it?
I want to look at the listing. Who's selling it? It's sold by. It's being sold by a lister called the Nile. It's being sold out of Melbourne. That's where it's printed.
It's one of the people from the printing press.
Probably. Well, they do sell a lot of books, so yeah.
Game recognizes game.
Sneaky.
It makes sense though. If somebody doesn't know, they can just get it on Amazon. They'd be like looking for it. Oh, like I hear there's this book, and they look it up on eBay and they're like, oh shit, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, look, at the end of the day, it gives me a little bit of legitimacy if they're selling for twice the price.
And also, you already if they have a copy of it, you already got paid for it, right?
Yeah, that's it. So I've already been paid for it. Yep. Yeah, and I'll if you put my last name, which I will put in the chat. I generally don't advertise my last name, but it's in the books now, so I can't really get away from it. If you put that into the search bar, that should bring up my name as well.
I have to do a whole bunch of stuff here because I'm not logged into Amazon for some reason. But I thought I was. Well, no, that link that I opened up, give me a second. I hate it when things don't work out the way I think they should work out. Yeah, I'm logged in.
Don't you have
I have the associates, and that allows me to do tiny images or tiny links. So let me look up.
Let's say, Shane, you're whereabouts are you? Are you in Germany? Because yours should be coming from the UK.
No. Shane's the stateside.
Okay.
Shane is the one that fell off the bleachers at QuadState.
Yeah. That's right. I was going to say because in the US, the listing price is $40 US, and the reason why it's that is because the proper practical blacksmithing is generally listed around 45. So I was trying to make it a bit more competitive, and it's about $80 Australian for the original version. So again, I was trying to make it a little bit more competitive by dropping the price a little bit, because of course it's such a big book that Practical Blacksmithing is in general printed by major printing houses, and considering you can get it online for free, and they're printing it, then like it's costing them nothing apart from the actual material. So they haven't put any effort into it.
Anybody want to test that link?
Give it a go.
Everybody click that and see if that's the correct one, if I did that right.
Shane, yeah.
That brings up 5 book series, but the bottom. So book number 5. That brings up the whole series. So book number 5.
Yep. And, full disclosure, because I guess every time I share that link, I have to do full disclosure. I don't get, it doesn't cost you anything extra to use that link. It's my associate's link, and I get basically a kickback for everything you buy for the next 24 hours now that you've clicked it.
Ooh.
So, and more of a kickback if you actually buy that book that I linked to. So it's not a trap. Shut up.
That's double dipping.
Huh?
That's double dipping. That means I get paid and we get paid to you from the affiliates link for the blacksmithing. For the book.
Yeah, but
that's double
here's
dipping.
the thing: for my Amazon associates link, I've had that for like 3 years now, and I've made $0. So that means either nobody's clicked the link or nobody's bought anything after 24 hours of clicking the link. I literally have nothing in my associates account. Only reason I did that was because it's the automatic tiny URL. So
yep. So remember, it's book number 5, the complete practical blacksmithing annotated.
Yeah,
and that's the URL is for Australian customers. That URL is for Australian customers. So that only comes in paperback in Australia. You can get it in hardcover in the you can't get it in the hardcover US. That's right, because it's too big. Can't do it in hardcover because it's too big. So you can't. It's only available in paperback, but it's worldwide. So yeah. But it's $40 US, or it's about $60 odd Australian, $69 Australian.
No, he doesn't, John. He doesn't get a discount. John Brunel says if Ben buys that double-headed toy, does he get a discount? No, he doesn't get a discount. Thomas gets a kickback.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me what was bought. Like, looking at my summary, $0, $0, 0 commissions, 0 bounties. Custom.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So the price that Shane was talking about before was the eBay listing in the US. So yeah. What I was saying about double dipping is, Yamez gets a kickback and I get my commission, my portion for the
$1 or something. It's supposed to be like is why I signed up for it, and then once I realized what it was, I'm like, I ain't doing this. It's basically you're supposed to spam that link everywhere. You're supposed to like put that everywhere, and it's like that's annoying. So like, yes, I am an Amazon affiliate. No, I don't get paid for anything because it's like it's $1 per. It's like 1% or 2% or something like that, and of what's purchased through the link, and it's like, meh,
Yeah.
So if you buy something for $100, if you buy something for $100, or if you spend $100 through my links, I get like $1 or $2. So like the only and then there's a threshold where it's like if you don't make a certain amount, like you don't get it. It's like, it's so pointless. The only way that's really useful for me is if like people, I've got 600,000 subscribers and like everybody's clicking on my links all the time, everywhere.
No, Ben, the price for you is double.
Because it's double.
Can you hear me now?
Ben. Yeah,
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So
I figured an end around. I don't. Yeah. I ran the live cable from my phone down to my soundboard. All right. So, but now I got cords tangled all around each other because I've moved so much stuff around.
All right.
Come on.
So where were we?
No, it's not out of stock there, Red Gum. If you pay for it and order it, it's print on demand, so they'll print it.
Okay. All right. So
Yep.
after all of that, where were we? What were we talking about? We went off onto a tangent about associates and links and this and that.
Oh yeah, no, we were talking about QuadState, and we were talking about 2024 and who all is coming over next year and things like that. So we just kind of segued from next year's QuadState and trying to get everybody there for next year because just because of life, everybody's kind of just like had to put it on the back burner. Well, I mean, except for me and you, of course. I mean, we're diehards. We were not flashes in the pan. Thank you very much. But so yeah, that's where we were at, and then we just kind of went down this rabbit hole of associate links and stuff like that.
Alrighty.
It says it's currently unavailable.
Like I said, it's might be. Okay, don't click that tiny URL link there, Red Gum. Look it up on Amazon. I just sent Yama through a picture on our chat, so if you can bring that up, Yamas.
I could try.
Yeah, but it is. Please.
Well,
so yeah, if you just cover your face up.
No, it's not that. It's all cut. Let me give it a second to Yeah, okay. There you go. Transition. There we go.
Yep. So yeah, if you look up, like I said, there's a title on Amazon.com.au, Practical Blacksmithing Annotated. That's what it looks like, a complete Practical Blacksmithing Annotated. It is currently available. I just went on and looked at it itself. It's available. Don't go through the US one because that will take you to the US site. It may not be available for us in Australia from them.
Right.
I'm trying to see around.
That's what's not available is the US printed version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure you get it from the Australian one. That comes from the Australian.com.au. That's why it says 68.68 because that's what the current Australian price is.
You missed it by that much.
Missed it by that much.
69.69. That would have been.
Yeah. So 68.68. You know the old saying, you do me and I'll owe you one. so yeah. Awesome.
I don't know anybody anything.
So glad you found it there, Red Gum. But yeah, so it's like the original Practical Blacksmithing, but with a little bit more updated information for the modern era, in the sense of, and I think we just lost Sully. Updated information for the model era in some of the language, and yeah, that's the dealio with that. So hopefully you enjoy it. I've enjoyed making it. It took me a long time to make. That was and technically I'm still making it because I'm still trying to get a script together in order to get an audiobook version recorded for those that aren't either great at English written language or but perhaps have an inability to read, or so you can whack it on in your Forge and listen to instructions or whatnot. Those people that don't exactly enjoy reading. I know people personally that have never read anything thicker than a pamphlet in their life. So that's the so they prefer to listen to a book than read it. Though listening to Practical Blacksmithing, I'm not exactly sure would be fun as try as anything, but
That'd be a tough one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's where the old joke of, put the book on, turn the lights down low. That's where that came from. The whole idea
book
of
on.
yeah, the book on.
Put the book on. No. Brain hurt. Well,
I'm not paying you anything, Ben. So yeah, but yeah, I was gonna say, and for people who buy the book in support of getting me to QuadState, particularly, but if people who bring their copy of the book to QuadState next year, provided I make it, I will happily sign it. I will absolutely. I'll probably annoy the shit out of Roy and sit in his tent and just sign books all day after doing.
You're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, I couldn't get the time off work, so.
Oh no, I'll get the time off work. I won't give them a choice.
Let me see. We have now. Let me run some quick maths here. Let me look at the viewership we have, which is probably not. Oh no! I closed the. Am I still streaming?
Yeah, still streaming.
I closed the freaking YouTube thing. Yep. Hold on.
Yeah, we're still good.
I'm an idiot.
Okay, yeah, and what's that got to do with you closing the stream?
Yeah, I lost control.
Hey, buddy, are you gonna sting me?
Stop it. Don't need you in there. Go to. Yeah. Anyway, I just got.
Okay, wait.
So there's 20 people watching or whatever.
Yep. Granddad just said, "I'll bring Adam his own booth." So that's Granddad.
That means you have to be there.
I was gonna say we'll know at least a month out, right? At the absolute latest, if I know if I'm going to be able to make it, right? Because I have to be able to book accommodation and not book accommodation, but book flights and all that type of stuff. So we'll know a decent amount of time out. So if you're saying you're going to come, mate, I'm going to hold you to it. I mean it. I'm going to hold you to it. I might even bring you some Vegemite. I know Rob loves Vegemite. So
you can't beat a deal like that. He's one of the few people I know that just eats it straight.
Exactly. He's one of the few people I know that eat it straight. No, I'm Australian, and that's hardcore. That is, even as an Aussie, that's kind of like, wait, that's hardcore,
right?
No, Jeff. So volume 5 is the complete one, so it contains all 4. It's just because it's linked in the series, they made it volume 5. So volume 5 is the complete practical blacksmithing. It is all 4 in one. Just because of the listing, and I can't change it unfortunately, but the way it's listed, it's the complete one.
Okay, so there's 20 of you in the chat. If each of you guys were to do $10 a month, that would be for the next year. That would be $2,400 to the fund, which is a nice chunk of change to help this out. So I mean, it don't take much. Like I said, quick maths. It don't take much, you know. It don't take much.
Nope. And I'm now just to let you know, I'm actually putting the money aside for this as well. It's not like I'm relying on the blacksmithing community to fund this. And I've got money getting every week being put aside. Same thing. I'm putting $10 to $50 a week away just for this trip. So it's and last in 2019 was I think. August 2019 was when I was first invited to come to QuadState. So this is giving a little bit about backstory on the Speargrass Forge involvement in QuadState. And I'm an honorary member of the Quad Squad, which is a group of Yamas and Rob and a couple of other Smiths that try to meet up regularly at QuadState because in 2019 that was the first time they all met. or 2018 was the first time I was there, and I was invited in 2019. So I'm pretty much an honorary founding member. But so from August 2019 to about August 2020, I actually managed to save all the money. This was pre-buying my house and stuff like that, in order to come. And of course, as we all know,
Yamez, hold on,
Yes.
Yamez, you got to fix the stream. We're it's all funky. The
I forgot to
transition
press
or
transition.
something.
Yeah, I was all over. I'm failing on production.
Yep,
that's been like that for a minute, and I'm like, just like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Continue there, Adam.
On production.
Back to the story. So 2019 to August 2020, I'd actually saved the money, right? And then, as we all know, COVID happened, and Australia went in complete lockdown. And it was absolute. Luckily, I hadn't booked by. I was watching it happen. It was like February, March. I was like, oh yeah, no, I'll book the flights. April, May. It was like, hang on, should I book the flights? And then we got shut down. And it was like, I'm glad I didn't book the flights because I would have lost my money. So I ended up buying my 20 acres and building my house and all that type of stuff, which put me in a hell of a lot of debt. But it is what it is. But yeah, so ever since, and so in that 12 months, as we know now with the reset, well, I wouldn't call it, it's not officially a recession apparently, but with the current recession that's going on, money buys a little bit less here in Australia, and my interest rates have gone up on buying my house and stuff like that. So so I have a little bit less free cash, but I am still putting the money away because I want to get the QuadState. So a lot can be done in 12 months, and for everyone that helps, I already give you a thank you in advance. But I will be, for those of you that make it to QuadState in 2024, and when we get the money together to be able to get, I will personally thank each and every one of you that I see. So just come up and tell me who you are, and I'll say, oh, thank you for getting me here. Absolutely,
And if you donated, if you donate as an added bonus, if you donate over, let's see how much I can whore you out. If you donate more than $200 total over the next year, Adam will personally take you into the tent and whisper sweet nothings in your ear in Australian.
It was something that sounded.
You win an hour. You win an hour in a tent alone with speargrass. Amy's just gonna start.
No. Okay, so there's a classic Australian joke about, and if you can look it up on YouTube, look up Rhonda and Ketut, right? RHONDA and KETUT, right? It's a driving insurance ad where she falls in love with this Indonesian guy by the name of Ketut, right? And oh, such beautiful breakfoot. That's what I wish to whisper in your ear.
Just imagine an hour alone in a tent with that.
It's a very Australian ad. It's like the bugger ad.
Yeah.
But yes.
All right.
On that note, we have 15 minutes before Jack Pines goes live. We should probably do our final thoughts instead of pouring ourselves out for the past 45 minutes.
No.
We're gonna gotta get a soft mattress for Adam.
Yeah, I'll go last on final thoughts, so I can bring up the closing arguments.
Yeah. So, QuadState. If you haven't been, you're missing out. This year was really relaxed and chill. And to be fair, that's kind of what I needed. I needed a relax and chill and not go like it has been every year. So that was actually pretty good. But you know what? You all need to make it a point to be there next year, because next year's not going to be relax and chill. It's going to be go. And well, I mean, like, for some of us, it's going to be a 7-day party. And, for some, it's going to be 3 or 4. But, definitely try to make it next year, or don't try to make it. Just fucking make it. You know what I mean? Let's get her done, and let's hang out and have a party next year. We'll light a fire and make something as a group. So Next week we're going to start the spooky season stuff, and so see you next Sunday.
Okay,
Adam?
so
No, Yamez. Yamez is up.
Okay.
Is it daylight savings there yet?
No, it's fall back. That happens later. It's still summer.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that. I don't even look at the clock. My final thoughts are, as per usual, thank you all for attending our shows, for supporting the channel, for just being awesome human beings. Because sometimes it's hard being a human, and y'all make it easy. So it was a absolute pleasure to hang out with everybody this year at QuadState, and y'all make it worth going there every year. John and Debbie, you guys make it worth happening. Roy, finally knowing that you don't want us to, skedaddle every time, we've got a new post. So I freaking love everybody. Y'all are awesome. Those are my final thoughts. Deal with it.
Okay, so thank you all very much for joining us on the Impractical Blacksmith podcast for this Quad State recap podcast. Yep, whatever. So you can find Yamez, Island Metal Forge on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find Alexis at Transcendental Artist Studios on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can find me, Adam, at Speargrass Forge on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget, if you have any suggestions for Tool of the Week, Metal of the Week, or any other topic, you can leave it under the hashtag Metal of the Week on the YouTube community chat in Discord, or you can join us or you can email us at impracticalblacksmith@gmail.com. If you found us on Spotify, Amazon Music, or Google Podcasts, we upload generally every Wednesday, or you can join us live every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, and that's currently 11:30 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time, or 12 o'clock p.m. a.m. Australian Central Daylight Savings Time. Check against your local time, because we have just kicked into our daylight savings for most of the country. And that's on the Island Metal Forge YouTube channel. Finally, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you listen to the podcast, don't forget to give us a star rating. We really do appreciate your support. And for all those that are going out and buying a copy of my book now or later on in the future, I really appreciate it. It does help me get to the US for next year's Quad State 2024, which means that I am really, really excited for it. I've been excited for the last 4 years, and I'm going to be excited for even more if I actually get to come. So, yeah.
I'll make sure.
Thank you very much. And yep. And that's the show. So thanks for coming. And we'll and don't forget, Jack Pines is going live next. So we'll catch you later.
Bye. One final and end it.